Hey, good morning, guys. Just got done with my morning Body Beast workout. 6 days done, feeling absolutely awesome about that. But I'm just coming on here. I don't have anything specific planned that I want to talk to you guys other than the title of this video, which is why winning can set you up for disappointment. And I've been thinking a lot about my current state where I'm in, where I've been over this past year, about some of the wins I've had personally, wins we've had as a team, and be able to maybe share some insights with you guys and some insights that I've had for myself. So, sorry, I'm still out of breath. I just hopped down here and got to get the video down before the kids realize I'm done with the workout, so I can chat with you guys this morning. But the message I have this morning is, oftentimes I've been thinking about this, is let's say you go after something in your life, no matter what it is. Maybe when you were younger in sports, or maybe early in your career or in college, you accomplished something big. Oh, that's a good example right there. So let's say you study for 4 years or 8 years to get your bachelor's or your doctorate degree, and you set these high expectations for yourself. And you work hard, you study for 8 years, you're consistent, and you have this expectation. Expectation, when you finish the 8 years, you're going to get the ideal job, you're going to get this perfect job, or this great job, let's say great job, and you have this expectation you're going to have this great job, and you're going to absolutely love working in this craft, getting paid for it, because you've worked hard for 8 years to achieve that. Well, you get there, and you realize that the work situation is not what you thought it would be, or your pay is not what you thought it would be, or the fulfillment you get from your work is not what you thought it'd be. So there's this gap. There's this gap in your life between expectation and reality. And even though you succeeded, even though you won in the fact that you set out to accomplish something, you achieved it and you hit it, you have this expectation of what it's going to be like, and the reality is right here. So then enters this thing called disappointment, where you're disappointed that it's not what you thought, or you worked so hard and it's not exactly what you thought it could be. So I've been thinking about that, different parts of my career, specifically, our team, we took our team to, in 2013-14, we were in the top 10 of the entire company, number 4 in the entire company of like 250,000 coaches. So I have this expectation, like I set this goal, we won, right? My expectation was much higher of what it would be like once we hit that point. And the reality was not what it would be. It was still just as hard. It was still just as difficult. And nothing became easier because we won in that aspect or hit that goal. So you're gonna face that in many other areas. Maybe you're trying to advance through your career. You're going through college. You switch jobs with this expectation of this new job is going to be so much better. And then when the reality doesn't mix it, you or hit that expectation, you have disappointment. And I was thinking about one specific thing. One of my church leaders back in 2006, I remember going to him after church one day. I was like, he owns a couple businesses. And I was like, what's a good book that I should read? What is a good leadership book? And he said, the greatest leadership book is the Bible. So that's one of the books that I study often to help me in my leadership, help me in my mindset and my ability to lead myself and other people. And I remember, like this morning, I was thinking about this expectation versus reality, and the disappointment that happens in that gap. So if you're on this video with me, if you felt some sort of disappointment after a win, help me make sure that I'm not just blabbing about something that may not be the truth. These are just my thoughts. But if you've accomplished something, or you won in some area and then felt some sort of disappointment afterwards, please share it below so we can all learn from that experience. But as I think about it, I think about specifically a story from the Bible. And it's the story of the prodigal son. So the prodigal son, he takes the money from his father, he takes off, he wants to do his own thing. He goes out, whatever he does, he parties, eats all the best food, lives this life that he thought would be this great thing that he would have by taking off. And so he takes off and does that. And pretty soon he's living basically in a lower level, he realized, than the servants at his father's home. He realizes that the servants at home are living a better life than I am. So he returns home. And he has these expectations, I guess you could say, as he's going home. He has this conversation with himself as he's getting ready to go home. He's like, I'm going to go home and I would be happy just living like the servants do, out in the barn or out in the shed. Because of what I've done, I don't deserve to be there, but I want to be home. and those guys are living better than me, so at least if I could come home and live like them, I would be where I want to be. So he comes home, but what happens, you guys know, is he's very highly celebrated by his father. He's like, get him in the ring, kill it. I can't remember if it's a pig or a cow or whatever. Let's have a feast. My son is home. This is great. And there's excitement in the celebration. And as I was thinking about this, I was like, look at the expectation that he set for himself, when in fact the reality was that his father was extremely grateful to see him home. But he set this expectation for himself that his father would be disappointed that he left, that he spent all the money. And obviously we know that his brother felt that way, but his father was grateful to have him come home. So the reality was better than his expectation. And how often do we as people in our lives, not just in a business or in your career or in your schooling, have these high expectations for ourselves, fall short, and we feel disappointed? But I believe that our God and our Father is always He's always grateful for us and expects the best of us, even though our expectations for ourselves at times are not the greatest. So let's say you fell miserably at one role, at leading your children one day, or being the spouse that you should be, or any of these areas. We then tend to take into ourselves this feeling of we're not good enough. You'd like to return to your father, let's say, just like the prodigal son, or return to God and be that person that you want to be. And we expect that we're not going to be loved and treated the same, but we want to come back. And just remember that God's expectations of you are much higher than your expectations of yourself at any point in your life, in your career. And that's the message that I wanted to give to you guys. So I believe if you can understand that, and understand that you will not be so disappointed in your life when you don't live up to that expectation you set for yourself, and realize that if you're doing your best and trying your best, you're loved and you're accepted no matter who you are, as long as you're progressing and trying your best. And so I know each of us sets that bar so high for ourselves of our expectations of what we want, but realize that every single step that you're taking in the right direction is a good step, and you're moving in the right step, and you're accepted. So remember that. Just remember that as you're going for goals, that's one message I want to deliver to you guys. But just remember that as you're striving for these goals, if you're setting goals and you're working hard towards them, you're going to have these wins. You're going to hit small goals. So let's say, I'm going to speak specifically to our career. Let's say you have this goal of hitting Emerald or Success Club or Diamond or any of these number of things that we talk about, which are benchmark things to hit in your business. You set this expectation, I believe, of things are going to be so much easier. My leadership will be so much better. My team will be thriving and growing at this point. And when you hit that level of success, the reality is not always what the exception is, or the reality is not always what your expectation was, and that's where enters that little small gap of disappointment. And it's so easy to feel disappointed or discouraged or disappointed in that aspect, but you have to understand and realize that that's because you're setting your expectations very high for yourself, and you must celebrate every small step that you take along the way, feel gratitude for that, and realize that as long as you're doing your best and you're growing, that is good enough. So that's my message to you guys, to help you guys avoid some discouragement in your life as you're striving to move up through your career, move up through the company that you're working for, or to become a better father, wife, spouse, whatever it is you're trying to be, that you must realize that if you want to be fulfilled as you go through this life of hitting these small little wins and goals as you go, so that you can feel a sense of fulfillment and not feel discouraged upon having these wins. So hope this helps you guys in some way. Happy Saturday, and go out and make a difference in the lives of others, and more importantly, work hard on yourself. Love you guys. Have an incredible day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.